Hi. Hello and welcome. Keep coming. Hit me just admitting everyone. I'll take attendance while we're doing this. Justice. Drew. Matthias. Alexa. Okay, looks like, oh, we got a couple stragglers here. Perfect. Abigail. Hi, everyone. We're going to do just a quick little focus on being a human. Okay. We had a little bit of trouble with that last day because you were too scared to tell me that you couldn't see my screen that I believed I was sharing with you. Okay. So I have a little game, and that is the first person who can take their microphone off and say something that is polite but helpful to me about something wrong that they see is a serious winner. Okay, that's what you get. You get to wear the title serious winner. Okay, so here we go. It's like our first, this is your first test. Okay, so get ready. Have that finger hovering over, turning your microphone on, and saying something polite and helpful to me, okay? All right, are you ready? Okay.
Mrs. Ong, you have a Kleenex in your nostril.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for telling me that. Way to go. You are a super winner. So good. Okay. Thanks. All right. So I had a few. Oh. Okay, fantastic. So that is a life skill, and that's just being a human. So thank you for being a human and telling me. I will at times have chia seed in my teeth, or oh, there's just a variety of things that will be crazy about Mrs. Ong. Might have toilet paper stuck to my shoe. You just go ahead and say very politely, Mrs. Ong, I think you've got a straggler there or something, okay? And I will love you forever. And not that I don't already, I will just love you more because you will have been a human to me. So thanks. Good job. Okay, now moving into the other part of geography, we've been looking at the big picture of why people come to Canada. And we know they come to Canada because Canada is awesome. We love Canada, and it has so many things to offer. When we compared maybe some of the struggles of when we looked at the world like it was 100 people, and we saw that some people don't have access to clean water, some people don't have access to electricity, some people don't have access to cellular networks and Wi-Fi. So we can understand why people would want to come to Canada. Now we're going to look and narrow that a little bit to why do people settle in Canada where they do, and we're just going to spend a little bit of time on this, and we're going to look a little bit at Elgin County today, for example. So as we launch in, does everyone have pulled up on your screen that sheet in Google where you can somehow hear me and also be accessing the handout I shared in Google so that you can type some answers into that. If you don't, oh, Justice, look at this hand raised. This is amazing. Yes, Justice.
Are we typing it on that doc, the shared doc, or are we typing it in our own doc?
Oh my goodness. Didn't even think that far. I just thought I was rocking it by having a document you could actually, so you're going to need to duplicate that or do your own. Yes. Unless everyone just wants Justice to fill theirs out for them. Does everyone just want Justice to do it for them? Okay. So yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Drew?
Yes, I'd like Justice to do all my work. I appreciate that.
Okay, everyone seems pretty content for Justice to fill out their document for them. So thanks, Justice. Joking. You guys are all filling that out. So take a second, pull that up, make sure you've somehow made a copy of that and you're filling in your own. So we're talking about, let's see, we're talking about, first of all, quick review on population distribution versus population density. So I gave you the example there. How many people does Elgin County have in it? It is on that Google form that I shared with you. Yes, Harrison.
50,069.
Exactly. Hey, you're one of them now. Way to go. Okay, great. And then what is our land area in Elgin County? Yes, Harrison.
1,845.41 kilometers squared.
Excellent. So someone do some quick math there to give me population density for Elgin County. Do you remember how to find that? Yes, Justice.
27.1 people per square kilometer.
You got it. Does that sound like a lot to you? 27.1 people per square kilometer. That's what it is here in Elgin County. So that's population density. You're all really familiar with that. When we think about distribution, then we get into, there's pockets of people in St. Thomas, like that would represent a lot. If you were doing those dots, that would be a lot of dots in St. Thomas. And then Elmer, there'd be some dots. There'd be fewer, though Dawson wouldn't there. And then Port Stanley would have some dots. So you wouldn't see us all distributed like 1 or 27 per square kilometer. We wouldn't be distributed evenly across Elgin County. We're grouped into cities and then smaller communities of towns, hamlets, villages, things like that. So if we were going to look at how the population is distributed, it's not distributed evenly across the whole county. So that's just the difference between population distribution. So people gather in cities where there are grocery stores, gas stations, jobs, things like that. And then we also see people who are farming and want a little more space, maybe living out in the country. So there's just more distance between them and their neighbors, just the way they like it, right, Drew? Okay, so that's density and distribution of population. We're going to launch right now into what factors make it attractive for people to settle more together in a city or something like that. So again, just follow along in you're going to fill in these blanks. Okay, the first one we could look at is climate. So there's moderate, adequate rainfall, a nice long growing season here in Elgin County. So that makes this spot in Ontario a great place to settle? We have flat or gentle rolling land that's fertile for farming. So flat, and you've got the gentle rolling land, good for farming. We are near water and food. So access to the basic necessities for life. That blank would just be near sources of water and food. This is number 3, near sources of water and food.
Sorry, what was the second one you cut out?
Oh, sure. The second one is pretty well filled in for you, actually. I just have in my notes, flat or gentle rolling land, fertile for farming. So it's good for farming. Okay, number 4. So we see we've got beneficial to allow for the building of ports and infrastructure. And we have great, it just allows for good transportation. Okay, so number 5 is good transportation. Number 6, transportation networks. And that allows a community to be more self-sufficient. Number 7, we have communication networks. So this allows us to do things like this. We have communication networks, and it allows our businesses to interact with one another and get what they need. We are near, this is number 9. Oh, sorry, did we do number 8? Nope.
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Number 8 is availability of electric power. So that's another important thing in figuring out where to settle. Availability of electric power. Number 9, we are near other markets for trading. So that provides trading and economic opportunities. What is a market that we are right next door to? What is a significant market that we are right next door to? It's closed to us right now. Anyone heard of the United States? Just teasing you. So Sarnia and Windsor border the US, really close to here. And I don't know if you ever listened to CBC or other news, that it's so significant that sometimes they give traffic reports of what the lineup at either bridge is like, so that transport drivers kind of know what they're in for as they take their goods back and forth. Okay, and the last one is employment opportunities and services. So that allows money to go back into the community. If we are employing one another here in this area, then I'm spending money back in my community, I'm employed by my community, and that allows our community to thrive. Just getting a chat-a-roo here. Okay. All righty. So that is a little bit about why we see towns growing into cities and cities growing into megacities as those things are become available and those places thrive. So that is a little bit about how settlements form into like cities. We're going to look a little bit about sort of the opposite, which is the rural end of things. And we're just going to go really quickly through here. So historically, there were three kinds of settlement patterns in Canada. So the first one was long lots in southern Quebec. So what you fill in here, these are long, thin farms that gave each farmer access to water. Okay, so these are long, thin farms that gave each farmer access to water. So initially those would be, say this is the river here, then we would see farms coming out from the river where everyone had access to river instead and to water instead of one farmer, you know, having this amazing spot right here by the river. So that's what Quebec, as it was developed, that's what we see in southern Quebec particularly. So in Ontario, we have the concession system, especially here in southern Ontario. And some of you even live off of a concession. So these are settled according to the road and railway system. So the concession system of southern Ontario, these are settled according to the road and railway system. And then the last rural settlement pattern is what we find in the southern prairies, and land is divided into blocks and then subdivided. Okay, so we have land divided into blocks and then further subdivided. Yes, Harrison.
Sorry, I forgot to put my hand down.
Oh. Can just leave it up constantly. Okay, and then I've left you a little bit of space on there. If you don't have your textbook handy, that's fine. It's 225 in your textbook and it looks like this. I just want you to really roughly sketch the three different kinds that are shown there. So if you don't have it right now, just make a note that it's page 225. And it really is review of what we've been talking about. We have concentrated. So again, we're talking pockets of settlements. We have linear. See, this might be like a river. So people are settled along a water source. And then we have like dispersed, so that it's evenly dispersed, dots everywhere. So you could probably just do that now, even if you don't have your textbook. But if you didn't get that, just make a note. It's page 225 in your textbook. Okay, awesome. We're trucking right along. So when an area changes from being rural to urban, the process is called urbanization. You guys are all familiar with that. And this happens when urban functions expand, more jobs are created, and people move towards those jobs. Urban centers are affected by the following four things. So just in those blanks there: manufacturing, So this is just the making of products from raw materials. So manufacturing, transportation is the second thing. So if there isn't easy access to transportation in or out of that city, it's not going to grow well. So manufacturing, transportation, resource use, and service center, so that there are services in that main city center that people want to be near to. Okay, and then we're on to the last blanks. Urban land is settled to be used in the following ways. So in every town or city, there's zoning where people like geographers and engineers get together to decide how much land should be developed into residential areas, how much should be set aside for industry and manufacturing, how much green space should we leave, what would roads look like, and paths for bikes and things like that. So the movement of water and waste out from houses to a place where it can be cleaned up and put back into our water system. So this all requires a great deal of planning and zoning. So the first place that we see is residential area. This is just where houses are. So you probably figured that one out. Residential is just where the houses are. The other area that we don't often think of as being designated within our cities is transportation. But 1/3 of developed land within cities is often used for roads and highways. So there's a huge chunk of land in all of our cities simply devoted to getting us around through transportation. There's commercial land use. So this ranges from kind of low order commercial stuff, so maybe easy and accessible, like convenience stores, to middle order, which are clothing stores, to higher order, which are theaters, car dealerships, etc. Okay, so don't worry much about the order, middle, low. Just think about commercial being anything from convenience stores to like a massive theater. Another spot we see land use is in industrial, and this is where we have factories. So that's not in commercial because we don't go into a factory to buy something. A factory produces something or a part of something that maybe goes to make a whole that eventually we buy when it goes to a car dealership or when it goes to a clothing store. But that's the difference between commercial, where we go in to buy something, and industrial, where it's being made and eventually we'll buy it from a commercial place. Okay, institutional and public. So these are schools, hospitals, banks, government buildings, and churches. Schools, hospitals, banks, government buildings, and churches. Could I just ask Eden and Dawson, do you guys mind just turning your cameras on? Sorry, I'm a little slow today on that one. Okay, and the last one is open space and recreation. So gyms, arenas, parks, and playgrounds are all factored into planning. Gyms, arenas, parks and playgrounds. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about is just the different names of the cities that we, the different names and of the places that we dwell in, starting with Hamlet, not the Shakespeare play. So a hamlet is fewer than 100 people. So you've got a spot to fill that in. Hamlet is fewer than 100 people. You can use the math symbol, the alligator mouth, to do that if you want. And a village is 100 to 1,000 people. Excuse me. Village is 100 to 1,000 people. A town is 1,000 to 20,000. Town, 1,000 to 20,000. A large town is 20,000 to 100,000. A city is 100,000 to 300,000. A large city is 300,000 to 1 million. I missed one. A metropolis is 1 to 3 million. A conurbation is 3 to 10 million. And a megacity is at least 10 million people. Okay, excellent. So when you come into St. Thomas, you see a sign that says, "What of St. Thomas?" Anyone, particularly those who live out of town and pass it every single time they came to school? Harrison, what did the sign say? Do you remember?
It was like population or something.
Yeah, but it said, "Welcome to the something of St. Thomas." Do you remember what it was called? Was it called a town or a city?
I think it was called a large town.
Hang on to that. Alexa?
Railroad City.
Yeah, our sign says City of St. Thomas, but according to our little table here, we really can't call ourselves a city for a while yet, because a city is 100 to 300,000. So we really should be welcoming people to our large town. Maybe that could be a geography project. You could redesign the sign that says, "Welcome to our large town." Okay, great. Okay, so that is rural and urban settlement and why we end up where we do, what attracts us to those places. So I have your work for Monday posted in Monday's spot, and we'll check back in on Tuesday about that. But I had asked you to complete your population pyramids and the analysis of that pyramid. So just answering those questions. That's due Monday in your EDSB folder. Just a quick reminder, please don't share it with me and submit it to your EDSB folder. I really just need you, as Justice walked us through those steps on Tuesday, I just need you to make sure that I'm in your St. Thomas Christian realm and that you share that with me just on EDSB. Otherwise, I get a duplicate in my Gmail that makes me think you don't know how to submit it to EDSB. So then I email you, it just becomes a bit of excuse me, an email disaster. Let's just call it what it is. So if you could just submit it on Edsby, that would be amazing. And I will be checking in Monday for sure to see if you have any questions about that. I'm probably going to go have a nap. Your Bible is posted. Sorry to miss out. Such a healthy, lovely discussion about women and our struggles. We will have it. Don't you worry, but we just will not have it today. Yeah, make sure that you do that. And Becca, does your brother want to get on and say something? Do you just want to hide in the blanket? And Maddie, does your ferret want to say anything to us? I feel like all geography, it's just been, oh, cute. Any parting words from ferret or friend? Little brother? No. Oh. Oh, so great. Okay, wonderful. Well, it's been a slice. You guys are champs. Way to hang in there. I'm gonna try to get better so I'm not coughing in your ear next week, and so I can leave my house as well. Okay, bye.